Things people ask most about the Jeep Gladiator. Burning questions you want to know. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Robmotive JT. You know, I was perusing the internet looking for Jeep Gladiator stuff, and I came across a little section, a little heading that says, people ask the most about the Jeep Gladiator in this case. So I got to looking at some of this stuff, and I thought, you know, this is pretty interesting. It interests me, so I thought maybe it would interest you guys as well. So I'm going to run through a few of these and let you guys know what people ask most about the Jeep Gladiator. Number one, are Jeep Gladiators any good? I think that's a fair question given that it's a Jeep. They don't have the greatest reputation, right? So it says, the 2022 Jeep Gladiator is a pretty good compact truck. Well, I kind of think it's awesome myself, but I guess it's pretty good. The Gladiator is very capable off-road, much like the Jeep Wrangler. Although the Jeep Wrangler is more nimble because of its narrower size, right? I mean, it's shorter, so it's going to fit around in spaces better. It says here, it also offers a diesel and a gas-powered V6 engine. Well, we all know that. I'm not a big fan of diesels myself, but if you're into diesels, I suppose for increased or enhanced towing capability, then maybe it's for you. And they go on to say that it has hefty payload and tow ratings. Again, it's not too bad in the mid-size truck market. I think it's right there at the top, if not number one. The second item here says, does the Jeep Gladiator have any problems? Well, you know, I kind of think that goes right along with, is it any good? But we're separating that out. It says the Jeep Gladiator's only been on the market since 2020, so we're really approaching 3 model years or so. But it took its entry with a known problem associated with the front axle. It says some drivers experienced violent shaking in the steering wheel after hitting bumps at high speeds. You know, that might also be known as the Jeep wobble. If you're not familiar with that, the Jeep death wobble is when all 4 wheels start doing this going down the freeway. I've seen that actually. It wasn't a Jeep Gladiator, it was a Jeep Wrangler. I believe it was a 4-door, and it looked horrid. But the driver didn't seem to be fazed by this. I couldn't believe it. They were traveling about 55, 60 miles an hour, and they kept going, and all 4 wheels were doing this. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. I would have stopped myself. Next up, which is better, Jeep Gladiator or Ram 1500? This is kind of a strange comparison to me. I mean, the Jeep Gladiator and the Ram 1500 are pretty different. One's a full-size truck, one's a Jeep. I mean, they're really different. But it says here, in terms of towing capacity, the Ram 1500 is the better choice over the Gladiator for pulling heavier loads. Again, not really a fair comparison. I mean, it's a full-size truck. Of course it's better. The Jeep Gladiator has a little less horsepower than the Ram 1500. Again, it's a mid-size truck. I expect it to have a little bit lower horsepower. It says with its lower torque engine, the Jeep Gladiator doesn't do as good of a job transmitting horsepower to its wheels as the Ram 1500. I don't know why people are asking this, kind of a crazy comparison to me, but hey, why not? Next up, how much is a fully loaded Jeep Gladiator? Good question. I was curious about this myself these days. It says if you add every possible option to the 2022 fully loaded Gladiator High Altitude, it'll cost you $61,415. Now, that's a heck of a lot of money, I think. You know, I don't know how easy it is to find that either, because getting all those things optioned out on a Jeep Gladiator, I'm not real sure how easy it is to find. Now, while we're on the subject of price, I thought I'd run through the different configurations. These are base starting prices. So you have the Sport, $37,375. You have the Overland, $46,580. The Rubicon at $49,320, and the highest, the Mojave, which I have, by the way, at $49,320. Those are starting prices. So, of course, if you add every available option, well, obviously, it's going to to be a bit higher than those prices state. Next up, how long will a Jeep Gladiator last? This is a guess because, it's only entering its third, 20, 21, 22, 23, fourth model year, right? So I'm not quite sure we know exactly how long it's going to last, but this is kind of based on Jeep's track record, I guess. It says Jeep Gladiators will last 200,000 miles or 14 years if adequately maintained. I don't know. Again, it's a brand new, relatively speaking, model. I don't know that we really know for sure. That's just a guess based on what Jeeps have done in the past. Next up, does the Jeep Gladiator hold its value? According to what I'm reading, the 2021 Jeep Gladiator retained 64.3% of its resale value. Most new vehicles lose a larger percentage of their value after they leave the car lot. That's probably not too bad for a truck that's really approaching 3 model years old, 64.3%. I know for a while the Jeep Wrangler was right up there at number 1, kind of going back and forth with the Toyota Tacoma. Next up, what are the negatives of the Jeep Gladiator? Well, there's a list, I guess. Now, this is based on the 2021, and they are the cons of buying a 2021 Jeep Gladiator. 1, it's not as good as the Wrangler on trails. Well, we already mentioned that, and that's pretty obvious. I mean, it is a bigger vehicle, so it's not going to be as nimble, I suppose, as the Wrangler would be, but still pretty good. Number 2, poor fuel economy. Depends on how you drive it. If you're heavy on the pedal, if you don't take a lot of long distance trips, in other words, if it's not on the freeway a lot, you're probably not going to get the greatest fuel economy. On a long distance trip I took in my 2020, it was getting somewhere in the 20 to 25 mile per gallon range, even hitting 26 here or there. Not too bad for a truck. And lastly, steering and handling could be better. Well, given that some people are complaining about a bad vibration or a wobble at high speeds when hitting bumps, I'd say that's pretty much a given. Next up, is the Jeep Gladiator good in snow? It says here it's superb in snow and handles it with ease because of its V6 engine and its clearance, which is about 11 inches, something like that. And also that it has a 4-wheel drive system. Obviously, anything 4-wheel drive is going to be better in the snow. Lastly, is the Jeep Gladiator selling well? Well, it's kind of hard to judge this right now because if you can't find them, you can't buy them. And if you can't buy them, they're not selling well. But we'll look at it anyway. It says in Q2 of 2021, now we're going back a bit, Gladiator posted its best quarter ever for U.S. sales as well as U.S. total sales with 29,962 vehicles. That is a 53% up from Q2 2020, but not quite as good as the Wagoneer. I guess the Wagoneer must do really well at 69,020 for Q2 of 2021, and the Grand Cherokee at 52,726. I'm not real surprised at that because it is a truck. I mean, everything you do to more specialize a vehicle is going to shrink the buying community. But not too bad on a brand new vehicle in 2021, 29,962 units sold. Anyway, I just wanted to get on here, kind of run through those things. Those are the most asked questions that people ask about the Jeep Gladiator. Leave a comment. Anything missed out in there that you're just burning to know? I'd be curious. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. Rob Motive, all about Toyota Tacomas, and Rob Motive MT, all about compact trucks or mini trucks. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.